Hello. By the way, in the interest of moving along and getting a lesson done between like 10 and 11, I'm not going to be editing out the mistakes unless I find I got way off. You know, um, it's a little chilly in here, and it was loud as heck. And the neighbors had a big tree operation going, and now you could hear a pin drop. What I want to show you is just that with the C box here, we call it the C cage. Alright, and this is pentatonic, shown pentatonic easily, so it's 3 5 6 root 2 3 5 6 root 2 3 5. We can go around the modal circle in this box. These guys don't matter right now. We can stay in the box to do the arpeggios. Also to do the arpeggios. How do we do that? Because let's say we're going to start on a 3 and do an arpeggio, a C arpeggio. Key of C, so it would be your lowest D, right? Sure, we can start up on this 3 and go 3 5 root 3 5 root. Right up there, we cross the whole fretboard anyway. Because of the tuning warp, we didn't get too far. We only got 1, 2, and just remember that if you got one note per string, which you do have when you're transversing cages, you'll do the triad twice. So this is a first inversion C. It just goes 3 5 root 3 5 root, just like that. Now I have to find a 3 on the bottom here. 3 5 root 3 5, just like that. I started it here. All right, just like that. So we actually started it one note past the first box there. Okay, how can we show that a little easier here? So here's your C box. Okay, so the next box down is the D box, right? From C goes to D in cage. So here's our D box. So we played that mostly in the D box, but then our last two notes there, the G and the C. Let's look at the D box there. They were right here. See, they were out of the box. They were playable on my guitar. So we often go out of the box. So what we want to do is stay in the box, because in that particular case, it came very close to not being able to play these notes at all. If you got a capo, a fret nut, or just trying to manage something with your finger as the bar. So instead, we can do a cage bound arpeggio. So we can go like 3 5 root 3 5 root 3 5, right, like that. So we've got everything in the C box, and this just spells it out: a C-shaped C, a D minor shaped D minor, an E minor shaped D minor, an E-shaped F. Okay, that's an augmented fourth F if you're going to do the diatonic of the C root there. So this is an older chart. This little comment here is kind of, you can ignore that, but it's relevant. I mean, if we're going to do a Lydian fourth, we're going to do an augmented fourth on that fourth. So you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, like this, right? And you have the F. You have F, G, A. You're not going to go to the B flat. You're going to go to an augmented fourth, which is the B, and then to the tonic. So I was gonna do the words on each one of the letters, but I chickened out. All right, so then we have a G shape, G, A minor shape, A minor. But when you go into the G cage, okay, which is next door neighbors to the C cage, because G is the fifth of C. Okay, and we go in fifths, going up this way to the right, to my right, and in fourths going, so you go from G to the C cage. Here's the G cage. The C cage is down here. Remember I said they're right next to each other because the G cage actually has the lone wolf 7, so it owns this. Much of the fretboard, the C cage, is right next to it, borderline neighbors. So C being the fourth of G cage, when we're going to the left, it's to the fourth. So C is the fourth of G, and G is the fifth of C. And I've got this little way of remembering these string shapes that I thought I'd bring up before we mess up like this. And oh, there's Andy's backyard. That's nice. Okay, I had this up. Here we go. So let's see if we can look at this here. I've got this little diagram here, and I'm going to make it bigger. We're going to put it here. This is an unfinished chart, so I don't want to work on that part yet because I'm not sure if what's there is even right. Although we will be talking about that chart very soon in the next lesson, because I promise I'm going to try to finish this thing. I was working all night just on this column here to finish that column, and I've got something really good out of that chart too. But something else I wanted to show you from the new chart I'm revamping 233 that I started during the storm is this acronym here that I thought up. So what we have is a string circle here, right? C goes to G, the fifth of G is D, the fifth of D is A, the fifth of A is E, the fifth of the augmented fifth of E is C, but it's a string shaped fifth. We call it a string shaped fifth. A way to remember that is Chuck's good dog always eats chow. And then I thought, how am I going to go backwards on that? I had to think of something completely different. So going backwards from C, the diminished fourth of C is E. It's not F, it's E in string shapes. And then the fourth of E is A, fourth of A is D, the fourth of D is G, and the fourth of G is C. So you can remember that by Chuck eats all day, good Chuck. Okay? Chuck eats all day, good Chuck. Chuck's good dog always eats chow. Alright, so I want to show you something else here. We can zoom in on this. So that's good. But another way to remember it, and the easier way, is to use the caged word. So to go in fifths, we take every other letter in the caged word. Okay, so here's cage, C-A-G-E-D. Taking every other letter, we get C to G to D. And same thing if we're going to start caged over again, C-A-G-E-D. We take every other letter, we go A to E to C. On the other way, it's a pentatonic ascending scale, C, D, E, G, A, C. So it's C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C. We take every other letter going in an ascending pentatonic scale, which happens to be counterclockwise on this diagram, and we get the string shape fourths. How does that help us? We have the string shapes here. We have the C string shape. All right, so it's Chuck's good dog always eats chow. Okay, and then on the way down, it's Chuck's